We're back here on the world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. This is going to be a hell of a deal. Oh my God. Get a hold of us online, jiggyjaguar.com, jiggyjaguar.us for the app and all the other fun stuff. I am taping this segment. This will air on our Monday edition, but I had to get this done tonight. I had to get this done tonight. This is probably the greatest little ditty, we'll say, that I've ever been involved in. This is fantastic. I want to bring everybody up to speed on this this challenge that I threw out the other day. And for the folks that have missed it, let me bring you up to speed on this. Basically, there was a professional wrestler. That whole thing. Is that how they do it? They do that in Greco-Roman or something. Freestyle folk wrestling. Now, I've always wondered, is folk wrestling where you get a bunch of guys like John Mayer together and they fight each other? Is that how that works? I don't know. Who knows? But I'm not making fun of folk wrestling. I'm not messing with those guys. I'll mess with pro wrestlers all day long. Now, here's the situation. There was a guy that I've met like twice. Maybe 3 times, I don't know. He used to wrestle for World Wrestling Express, WWX. Flex Reed and all of them out in Larned, Kansas. Well, he made the local police blotter. Basically, his photo, his mugshot got posted on the Salina Post, and someone sent it to me, and I posted it on our Facebook page. Which, by the way, you can go to facebook.com/JiggyJaguar for that. And he got angry, and so eventually I decided to take it down because it wasn't about him. It was about this little feud that I have going with XWE, which realistically, if you know me, and most of the guys over there do know me, they all know that this feud is not really a feud. But we'll get into that later. Maybe. However, there are a few people that are really pushing to get this fight to happen between me and this Shane Garrett guy. And I went ahead and I put the challenge out last Sunday on the Sunday radio show. Heard nothing. So then I was discussing it with a few other people that are in indie wrestling in Kansas, and they said you should just challenge him like you did Derek Ellis. Remember when I had the feud with Derek Ellis, and there was a rumor he wanted to fight me, and it's like, okay, let's go. Let's duke it out. And then come to find out later, Derek Ellis didn't want to fight me. It was just a bunch of people that had decided they were going to start some So, I placed this challenge out there. Well, then there were a few wrestling marks, a few of these wrestling fans, that got together and they said, well, I want to see him hit you with a chair. And I'm like, hit me with a chair? Huh? As Crystal Baxter would say, huh? Here's the deal. I didn't call him out for a wrestling match. We're not going to work a match together. We're not going to hook him up. We're not going to do that. And then I put something out about, well, that would be really good. Give me a weapon. So then this idiot goes on social media, who still thinks that we're working an angle in a match, and he says, I'd like to see you get hit with a chair. Here's something. I recently broke, let's see if the camera can catch this. I recently broke this aluminum baseball bat after I got furiously angry one night. I broke this aluminum baseball bat. And see these sharp edges on this bat? Now, of course, if you're listening to us on the radio, you'll have to go to JiggyJaguar.com or KJagRadio.com, which, by the way, all new JiggyJaguar.com and all new KJagRadio.com. Newly redesigned for 2019. Well, this here, if we were going to have a match, a hardcore match, and I was allowed to bring weapons, this is what I would bring. And I've already told several people that I work out with that these sharp edges I would grind up against his throat. No bullshit. You want to have a match, you want to have a fight, and you want to give me a weapon, that's awesome. It would be much safer for everyone involved to do a boxing match. It would be so much easier. I don't like getting kicked. I don't like kicking. I think personally a kickboxing match would be very boring. An MMA fight would be very boring because I don't know if this guy knows how to like do any ground grappling except for professional wrestling. And I doubt he's Gene LaBelle, so I don't think that he's going to be calling upon the gods, Judo Gene LaBelle and the rest of them, to help him out. He's not Travis Nawaza with the leg locks. Or Eric Paulson with the leg locks. I guess it's both. So here's the deal. My guys at Boxing Black Belt, I've already talked to them. They said they would sponsor the gloves and the headgear so no one gets hurt. Because realistically, the guy just wants to punch me in the mouth. The guy just wants to beat me up. And here's the thing, and I've been talking with a few people about this. In fact, I talked to a few people when we're taping this. It would have been earlier this evening. For the folks that are going to hear this on Monday, it would have been on Thursday. It would have been on Wednesday night. Something like that. It's too much of a risk. It's too much of a risk for them. Here's how this works. There's a lot of people, which, by the way, apparently I have a new nickname, the Boxing Machine. I've never known to be known as the Boxing Machine, but apparently I'm the Boxing Machine now. Someone somewhere gave me the nickname the Boxing Machine. So that's... I thought a boxing machine was those stupid things that you hit. The little bags that you hit and they popped up and then they ran a score up. I thought those were boxing machines. Maybe those are punching machines. I don't know. But here's the thing. One of the things that I used to do when I used to fight in Box-A-Buddy here in Hutchinson, Kansas, way back in the McGraw's days, how Box-A-Buddy was structured was you came out and you got in the ring with an opponent, and then you guys fought for 3 rounds of like 45 seconds, because nobody was actually an athlete back then. And they didn't really want to... This was just something stupid for drunks to do. So I got into this Box-A-Buddy, and I thought, I know how to fight. I'm going to get in there and beat the brakes off these guys. By the way, that term was not around then. So I had entrances. I wanted to do the pro wrestling thing. I had entrances. I came out in my jiu-jitsu gi one time. You can look all this stuff up on YouTube. I've saved a bunch of this stuff. This stuff has got uploaded to YouTube, various forms and fashion. So here's the thing. I always wanted to be the first heel of Box-A-Buddy. I want to be the first bad guy, the first villain, the first protagonist, as Jim Ross would say. So I would go in there, and I would cut a promo on the crowd. I would come out, I would talk shit to the crowd. And then they would hate me, and then I would go in there, and I would beat the crap out of these guys. And then at the end of the rounds, they'd be holding them together with bubble gum and push pins, and they'd win. The first time that I fought a guy after I'd cut a promo and he fought me, and afterwards he's standing there like holding himself up from falling over, and I'm just standing there, you know, because I'd worked out, I'd got the cardio, I got all the stuff. I'm just standing there. I'm ready to go. and they raised that guy's hand. He was so shocked. I'm surprised he didn't have a heart attack right there and die because he was so out of shape. So here's the thing. There's too much of a risk with this going on. If Shane Garrett fights me in a wrestling ring, which, by the way, I've heard from a couple different people that no way this will ever happen. That they will never, no one will ever sanction this. No one will ever let this happen. Okay, that's fine. I just don't want to hear the guy talking about how he's going to come find me and punch me in the mouth, because I'm clearly giving him an opportunity to punch me in said mouth. So here's the gimmick. They don't want to take the risk, because if they beat me, well, it's just Jiggy. He's an idiot. He's a buffoon. I can't even understand how the guy gets up out of bed every day, puts 2 feet on the ground, and pulls himself up. How is this ever gonna, this is never going to happen? Jiggy is an idiot. Then there's the other side, which is, I've seen some of Jiggy's fights on YouTube. I've seen some of his, I've been in the gym with the guy. I've watched him spar, guys like Dave Rickles, and Shane might be in for it. Well, here's the deal. If I beat Shane, he'll never live it down. Because he'll have every wrestling guy on the planet will be like, ha 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 ha, you lost to Jiggy. You're a fucking idiot. But if he beats me, they're going to be like, I bet that was fun shutting that idiot up. Because either way, it's a risk. For instance, I fought a guy way back in the day by the name of Vanilla Gorilla, Michael Menninger. I think he used to work at the prison here in Hutchinson. I fought him, and all the way up to that fight, he didn't take that seriously. He could have cared less about me. He just, whatever. And his whole thing was that he would hit people as hard as they possibly could he would hit them as hard as he possibly could in the face, and would break their nose, and it would be over. So I trained with a guy in Canton, Galva by the name of Don. He was an old boxing coach who had a machine shop downstairs and a boxing gym above his machine shop. And I trained with him, and he used to refer to me as Jimmy instead of Jiggy. People would call me Jiggy, and he was like, oh, Jimmy. So he always called me Jimmy. So I trained with him, and we trained a lot of slipping. A lot of the old Mike Tyson slipping, bobbing and weaving stuff. Because we thought, Menninger's going to hit me in the face, and I got to get away from that. I can't take that on, I just can't take that full force because he's going to break my nose. Oh my God. So we did. And if you look at the tape, when Menninger goes to hit me, I go, boom. Or boom. And he misses me. And then he's got this look on his face like, I don't have a clue what to do next. So if you watch the fight, he maneuvers me over to the ropes and shoves me through it. Just shoves me through the ropes. Like a sumo match. Shoving me through the ropes. Well, here's the thing. He spent the entire night drinking. Just slamming down drinks and hanging out with hot little women at this show. Oh, he didn't care about me. Well, then, when I heard that we were getting ready to have this fight, because I think I was the co-main event that night, because Edwards was putting a lot of money into me. He was really hoping Menninger was going to knock me out, and it was going to be the end of it, or I was going to pull the upset and knock out Menninger. But he knew it was going to be a big fight. So I fight Menninger. Well, I get ready. I start warming up. I start shadow boxing. I hit mitts with the old Rob Sabi. I was getting ready to go. And so and Menninger starts getting nervous. He starts going up to people that knew me and was like, hey, could you tell him to calm that down over there? That's kind of making me uncomfortable, all this stuff. Well, then when he realized I wasn't going to stop doing that, he sobered up like nobody's business. And then he decided that he had to, I guess, get in there with me. Well, funny little story about this fight is that This fight was supposed to happen on 4 separate occasions. And each and every time the fight got ready to get close, something would happen. The promoter couldn't get a liquor license. So we couldn't have the liquor license. So we had to move the fight. One time they scheduled it the night of a big football or basketball thing here in Hutchinson. So they were like, no, we're going to not lose our ass, so we'll reschedule. One time they couldn't get the athletic commission to give them a permit or something. There was always stuff. Well, the thing was that I just kept training. I kept going to the gym. I kept running. I kept doing sprints. I was working out with an old bodybuilder in McPherson. I was doing lots of leg press. I was doing lots of powerlifting stuff. And I was doing shrugs. There was a guy that had left a shrug machine in this gym in McPherson that I was training in. And we started putting 45-pound plates on it and doing sets of 25. I think at that time we were doing sets of 50. I think we were doing like 3 or 4 sets of 50 reps, just with a 45-pound plate on each end. Then the next week, we did 2 plates. Then the next week, we did 3 plates. And the next week, we did 4 plates. We got to the point where we maxed this machine out. We started putting people on the machine. You can talk to, I believe her name is Leanna Prather down there in McPherson. She was one of the people that we stuck on the machine. We put her on the machine. And then we started handing them dumbbells to hold. Well, I just kept training. Well, eventually I got in there with manager, and as you can see on YouTube, it didn't go well for him. Now, of course, I didn't knock him out. I didn't win. Because, of course, in the very end, you can't give me the win. I'm the heel. You got to send people home happy, as they say in the wrestling business. So here's the deal. They won't take the fight on the risk that I might win. Yeah, granted, you can Google, you can get on YouTube, and you can look up my one and only MMA fight that I've ever had. I was totally unprepared, and I got my ass kicked. Or you can go look at a smoker fight that I did, 4 years ago now? And I got my ass kicked there too. Or you can go look at all of my sparring footage. You can look at all of my kickboxing footage. You can go talk to guys like Dave the Caveman Rickles. You can go talk to people that have been either trained with me, held mitts for me, whatever. Or you can go look at my old sparring footage. I don't know. It might be risky. But who knows? We'll never know. Because according to a few people, this fight will never get sanctioned. Because they will never take that much of a risk for me to possibly beat this guy. So, with that in mind, we are going to take a break. And when we come back, we have got more coming up here on our world famous Jiggy Jaguar radio broadcast. By the way, check out our website, JiggyJaguar.com.